Hello, everyone, and welcome back to ASM 2020. We are Oz Speedruns, and we are doing speedruns for charity. Our charity of choice is Beyond Blue, and we've gotten quite a few donations in. Right up next, we're going to be seeing a 95 exit no cape run by Dactyly with some commentary by Sten. And we've got a few donations to go through just before that starts from our Diablo runners from before. So we had a donation from CJ that was $53.65. It said, "Well done, Metro, Hexon, Whisperer, and Crooked. What an amazing run. Who needs speed shrines?" Anonymous gave a donation, said, "Crooked out, shouts to Metro and Hexon." And then he makes a crude pun based on Diablo. Then we have a donation from Metro that says, "Thanks so much for having us at ASM. Please put my donation towards Zelda Oot, Trip AU file name to be Zelda," and they gave $53.65. I forgot to say, Crooked gave $11.31. Then Hexon gave $107.02. And he says, $15 for swearing, $50 for setting the world record. Thanks for having us, everyone. I'm thinking Hexon's maths is a little out there. But thank you very much for the generosity, Hexon. And then we have Whisperer, who gave $65, said, "Great Diablo 3 run, lads. Here's my donation to match the others." And with that, I give it to you, Dact. Take it away.
Thank you. All right, yeah. So you might have watched the Sten's SMW run earlier in the marathon. If you did, this will be completely different. And if you didn't, well, enjoy anyway. I've got Sten here with me doing some commentary as well.
Hello.
Hello. So yeah, this is 95 exit no cape. I guess I might as well just get started because World 1's pretty samey, so we can talk during that. So I will get started in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So yeah, no cape. The cape power-up in this game is extremely broken, as you may have seen in Sten's run, or if you've watched other categories of this game. But we will not be collecting that at all in this run. Hopefully. If I do, I'll have to get rid of it. Yeah, World 1 starts off pretty much the same, because there aren't any capes in this world anyway. But
yeah,
things will start to diverge afterwards.
Yeah. World 1 will, I think it'll be the same all the way through to the end of the first room of Iggy's castle.
Yeah,
at which point Dact will not get the fire. He'll just stay small.
Yeah, and that's just for a couple levels later on. Doesn't actually make too much difference in the castle itself.
Mm.
The obvious question that people who know the game may be asking is, why is it 95 exit? Aren't there 96 exits? And simple answer is one of the exits is not accessible without cape, so we skip it.
Yeah, it's the exit of Donut Secret House, which takes you to Donut Ghost House, which takes you to the top secret area. You can't get up there without a cape or without a couple of different glitches that happen to be banned in categories of this type.
Yeah. Yeah, in theory you could get up with like flying on Yoshi, but you can't bring Yoshi into ghost houses, and yeah, just...
You wouldn't have a Koopa the
Oh, there's no shell
anyway.
as well, yeah, true. Yeah, so it's just completely impossible.
Yeah, World 1 is really just basic platforming. Nothing too complicated to do here, no power-ups, no anything interesting.
I did not go for the shell jumps there, because I'm really bad at mid-air shell jumps, so it's just going to lose me time. And it's only saves like a third of a second anyway.
Yeah. So, as was mentioned yesterday, Dact is not getting any of the midway points in World 1 because it saves a little bit of time for the first jump in Castle 1.
Indeed.
Or first couple of jumps.
And
it
also,
makes
I
the
just
first...
want to be small anyway for some later levels.
Yeah.
But this jump is way more difficult when you're big. I swear that door is so much harder when you have to jump over the midway.
Here's our first auto-scroller of the run. Thankfully, there aren't too many of these in SMW. There are a few, but could be a lot worse.
Yeah.
It certainly isn't SMB3.
And then killing Iggy without fire. Jump on him a couple times.
Yeah, so if you get a midway point in this game, you become Big Mario, and Big Mario is it loses you a bit of time at the start of this castle, and also a little bit of time in some of the stages later in World 2.
Yeah, midways are kind of a mixed bag. Sometimes we make use of them if we've taken damage or something. Other times we want to avoid them.
Yeah, I think
this
there's
is
at
where
least
the
one.
there's
Yeah.
yeah, I guess there's the one in VD4, I guess. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
But yeah, this is where the paths start to diverge between 95 and Cape categories.
Yeah, instead of just getting the cape and flying over this level, you'll see Dax run through. He's going to grab a Yoshi in order to get up to the secret exit. Because that's just the fastest way to get up to the secret exit. You can't, like, even though unlocking the Yoshi is kind of slow, it still winds up being faster. You can do a shell jump to get up here without Yoshi, but Yoshi is actually still faster. Which is good because it's really just much easier to do.
Yeah.
Shell jump is far
people
from
do the shell
trivial.
jump in small only runs, and it's definitely a big reset point in that category.
One thing you will have seen if you were watching yesterday's run is that I went into this pipe here in order to grab a shell to swim faster, but you can't grab that shell without a cape, so it's just slower to go into that room. Instead, Dact will be grabbing one of these throw blocks here and swimming with that before switching to the P-switch. And another difference in route here is that yesterday I went up at this point and got the exit of Donut Ghost House, which takes me to the top secret area. That's the exit you can't do without cape, so Dact will just be walking straight back down to Donut Secret 1.
Yeah, the overworld
doing
route
the
is a
secret
bit
exit?
different in this category as well. Basically, the goal here is to beat Special World as quickly as possible. There's a couple of reasons for that. One, Special World is just really hard, so you want to do it early in attempts. But also, beating Special Worlds causes some changes to some enemies and to the overworld, and they are quite useful for this category.
Yeah, the most useful changes, or the noteworthy changes, are that any like Koopas that walk along the ground, not the Para-Koopas, but just regular Koopas, they will any red Koopa will turn blue, and any green Koopa will turn yellow. And the significance of that is that any Yoshi, if he's got a blue Koopa in his mouth, will get wings so that you can fly, which is just used to save time in this category.
Yeah.
And make a few things easier.
Jumps through some boo rings here, hopefully.
Yeah. An interesting thing about these boo rings is that if you're Big Mario and ducking, it doesn't act like ducking doesn't actually make a difference to your hitbox. Those boo rings will always treat you as though you're like standing up properly.
And that's one of the reasons it's very important to be small going in here. I guess you can be big and just like damage boost, but if you want to go fast. And yeah, there are safer strats where you like collect mushrooms and then immediately take damage on the boo rings, but if you can jump through them, then it's convenient. Also, because I did the level at least vaguely correctly there, I'll know roughly where I'll know exactly where the boo rings are going to be for the next go in.
Yeah, the position of the boo rings is preserved when they're unloaded and reloaded. So, you know, the first set of boo rings you see in the game after a power on will always be the same, and then the second will appear basically where the last set despawned.
Yeah,
so if you make any mistakes while the boo rings are on screen, it can make a significant difference to their position later.
Yeah, that was
Ooh.
really awkward. I tried to do a high jump and get over, but
Yeah, it was a bit of an awkward position for that
Yeah.
boo ring.
it's okay.
Let me know when I can get some donations in, guys.
Yeah, I'm just doing the same level again, so...
Yep,
might
go
as
for
well.
it.
Right, so we got 2 donations here. We have Matthew R, who gave $11.31. Thank you, Matthew. We have Hans Pitchy Stockman, who gave $107.50.
Whoa.
Thank you
Nice.
for your generous donation, Pitchy. And he said, "We're on the home stretch. Good luck to our remaining runners. Remember, whether you're running or watching, you're cooler than you think. Put this donation to naming Link to the Past's file name T301." Thank you for your generous donation, Pitchy. And back to you, Dact.
It's alright. Well, I died again, but I'm through now.
Mm.
Did a safer strat there where you get a mushroom and... I
Yeah,
think
sometimes
that actually
sometimes
worked.
it's safer just to take the D boost.
Based on the boo at the bottom there, I think I'm actually going to have good cycle in the in Vanilla Ghost House. It ended up being just like 1 cycle behind or something. Or 2 cycles.
Okay, hopefully it works out like that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can just do my normal strat in that level. Yeah, that's always a scary one. That level causes a bunch of resets in attempts.
Hmm. So
And
now
I
that
didn't
Dact's-
even do the fastest way there.
Yeah. So now that Dact's beaten Big Boo, he's going to be heading straight to Star World.
Yeah. And now we finally get power up. Firstly, because there's just no reason not to now. And also you have to for this level. You can't get through these turn blocks if you're small.
You can't beat this. Yeah, you cannot beat this level as Small Mario. Oh, I think technically you can if you're Small Mario with Yoshi, but it's tricky, to say the least.
Wouldn't even know how to begin with that.
So when I played this level in 96 exit, you can use the cape to sort of zip through these turn blocks and move down a whole lot faster. You can't do that without cape, so Dact is basically just trying to spin jump and make his way down through the empty spaces in the turn blocks as much as possible.
Yeah, break as few blocks as possible by taking the correct path.
And he grabs an extra mushroom there in order to feed Blue Yoshi later in this segment.
Yeah. Blue Yoshi is extremely important for this run. We haven't seen him yet, but we will very soon. And yeah, this run would be very different if Blue Yoshi didn't exist.
Definitely. There actually is a category called 95 No Flight,
Yeah.
which is the same essence as this category, but not allowing flight on Yoshi.
Yeah, all these levels in Star World have 2 exits. I'll only be getting one of them for this level, because getting Blue Yoshi is really important, and so I'm saving an exit for later in the run, so that I can get another Blue Yoshi later.
So feeding Blue Yoshi there, it's important that you don't have him inside the wall when he grows up, because he will just get stuck inside the wall and then be out of bounds forever.
Hardest exit in the game.
Very well done.
Thanks.
Actually, any difficult, like the remote chance of messing up that exit is completely gone in categories
true.
with Yoshi as well.
Good. That is a bit tricky.
Yeah, sometimes if Lakitu throws the Spiny at the wrong time, he'll just be invincible and the block won't damage him.
And now we get to see Yoshi flying. Oh, no we don't.
Ooh.
Wow, okay, I didn't get speed there. That's an interesting way of messing that up.
Oh, I guess you'll just go back for a new Yoshi.
Yeah, what the heck?
That's a new one.
Yeah, it is. Whatever. If that's the worst mistake in this run, I'll be happy.
Yeah, if that's the only place you're going to lose Blue Yoshi, then you're doing pretty well.
Yeah, so Yoshi colors affect what effect having a shell in his mouth does, and blue Yoshi will fly if you have any shell in his mouth.
Yep, and it's important to note that any Yoshi will fly with a blue shell in its mouth, which is one of the big benefits of beating Special early. Brings a whole bunch of extra blue shells into play. That's a good job on the secret exit as well.
Yeah, a couple levels of just flying here, and then we get into Special, which it's quite difficult.
This just feels strange to me. After seeing 96 so much, you're gonna go just do Star World 5 exits next to each other.
Yeah. This route makes so much more sense. And yeah, you could probably hear on my mic me like tapping B kind of in a rhythm there. When you have Cape, Yoshi flying, you can actually just hold the button and he'll just keep flying upwards. But if you don't have Cape, that doesn't happen. You have to keep pressing the button. But you don't want to mash. I mean, you can mash, but it's not the optimal way to gain height.
Yeah, you sort of just tap with the right rhythm in order to gain optimal flight, or gain height optimally.
Yeah. Took me a while to get used to that, actually. It's a little bit faster than I thought it was originally.
So in the next stage, we'll be seeing Dact do a Yoshi Wings glitch. If you saw the 96 run yesterday, you will have seen a fair few of these. But basically, he's going to be duplicating a block upwards into the bottom half of a dragon coin, then collecting the top half of a dragon coin, and that top half of the dragon coin, or the bottom half of the dragon coin, will become a wings block.
These dupes are harder with no cape, which is my way of saying I'm bad at them.
With cape, it's a 2-frame window if you're floating downwards. Without cape, it's a 1-frame window, and this is running at 60 FPS.
Got it.
That's not a bad set of wings.
Yeah, a couple missed dupes, but I didn't hit the block, which is the most important thing, because then you have to wait for it to stop spinning.
And next up, he'll be doing something similar in this level, or will be trying to do something similar in this level, except he'll be duplicating a P-balloon block to the left in order to create wings.
Okay, there we go.
So if the P-switch gets stuck in the wall without making the wings factory instantly, you have to just scroll back and forth and hope it goes the right direction. Once you've got it moving the right direction, you can keep it moving that way, but if it just decides to keep going left over and over again, it can lose a bunch of time. Now, this Way Cool is essentially a flyover in caped categories, but it's actually a really cool platforming level without a cape.
Yeah,
and Dac's
really like
done that pretty much perfectly. It's beautiful.
It's really, really bad if you fail it, but it's a fun bit of platforming.
Definitely. And up next is Awesome, which so the boss kills that I was doing yesterday, there's a few glitches that you can use to basically spawn and defeat bosses in some of these stages. You can't do those realistically in RTA without a cape. So Dact will just be flying over those.
It involves like switching from one item to the other to get the double tongue, and I'm not really able to do that.
Yeah, it's technically possible in TAS, but I don't think I've seen anyone do it in an actual RTA setting.
Yeah, so you get a couple of easier levels in a row. Awesome and Groovy are not too difficult.
Although the game makes up for it by throwing Mondo and Outrageous at you.
Even Funky I mess up sometimes.
Yeah, Funky's it's not easy.
I am I'm small, so I need to remember to get the mushroom in Mondo. There's probably a fast way to get that mushroom in Groovy, but I haven't learned it, if there is.
Fun fact: this is actually not the title screen map. It is a different. It is a different level in the game, despite being essentially identical at the start. So this is what I consider to be the worst level in the game. It is awful. Mondo is just terrible. Are you not trying to get the mushroom?
No, the other one. I'm on track for the early P-speed.
Oh, there's another mushroom?
Yeah.
Sten, you might even call it a special map.
Baby, I got the P-speed. That's awesome.
I don't know if I'd go that far. Yeah, that's pretty good actually. Getting that early P-speed is not trivial. Oh yeah.
Oh, I ate the shell. Oh my god, that's actually really bad.
You can walk on the munches if you need to.
No, I got it. We're good.
Yeah. Mondo's a mess. It is just laggy and horrible, and everything's out to get you. But now that we're past Mondo, we're up to probably one of the most difficult no-cape levels, but it is incredibly satisfying when you do it right.
It's
outrageous.
So fun. It was probably the level that took me the longest to learn to like do vaguely consistently.
So Dact is entering this with a mushroom and Yoshi. He'll be leaving it with neither of those, and that's just all part of the intended strat. It's got some precise platforming. You gotta bring the spring with you. Gotta deboost or ditch Yoshi and then deboost through a hammer bro. Quick left right at the end to get through the hammers properly, and that was a textbook outrageous.
Yeah, that was awesome. Sorry, no, that was outrageous.
Awesome. Yeah, awesome was a few levels ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dact made that look fairly easy, but it's like any small mistake can mess you up there.
Definitely the biggest difference in... Oh, nice. Ooh. That's what I mean about messing up Funky. Yeah, definitely the biggest difference in difficulty between Cape and no Cape. Outrageous is a completely simple flyover if you have Cape. It's nothing to do. Yeah, that just didn't really matter. Like, I want to be small here anyway.
Yeah, Funky, not too difficult a level, but there are a fair few places where you can just make a small mistake and die. Like, if you throw these throw blocks a little bit too late, you just get a baseball to the face.
Yeah.
And Dact is officially super player. At least according to the game. I'd say all in all, that's not too bad a special.
Yeah.
Aside from the death at the start of Funky, that was all pretty good.
Yeah, I messed up Mondo a bit, but it's all fine. So yeah, now we do the left side of this. Unlike in 96, it actually doesn't matter when you do this. You could do this at the start if you wanted to. There's just not really any reason to. This left path is easy, so just do it whenever.
Yeah, like if you're grinding the category, you might as well just do this after special because, you know, you want to get special in as early as possible.
Yeah.
Plus, it leaves you with a consistent World 1 between just about every category.
Yeah, we are now officially the left side gang. And this is our first Switch Palace. 4 of these. Not that big of a deal. Like, there's a couple places where the Switch blocks are useful.
Yeah, I'm trying to think whether they're particularly helpful in
Chocolate
this category.
Secret is... not Chocolate Secret, Chocolate Fortress is one that springs to mind.
Yeah, Chocolate Fortress. CI2, they help a little bit.
Yeah, they make it easier.
Chocolate Forest Fortress is one level where
true.
in this category you don't have all the switches beaten before that level, which means you actually have to think and
jump.
Avoid them.
Yeah, jump over.
Yeah, you have to jump in this platformer. It is absurd. And Dak will be making his way, cleaning up the rest of World 2, and then making his way into World 3. So this run through Donut Plains 1 is going to be pretty similar to what he did before. He's still going to grab a Yoshi. Doesn't need it for the secret exit.
Yeah, this time we'll be using it. Yoshi.
Yeah, we'll be using it later on in this world.
What I meant to do. Let's do this. Okay.
So let's see, this Yoshi will be used to fly through Donut Plains 3 and Donut Plains 4.
And incidentally,
oh, yep, and for Vanilla Dome 1. Oh, I guess to get to the secret exit in Vanilla, VD1 and yep.
Yeah, in DP 2.
Damn, this Yoshi does a lot. It'll be used
for
wings.
It's a good Yoshi.
Assuming you're doing wings.
And then you just like unceremoniously ditch him in VD2 because he swims far.
Ditch him in VD2 or you leave him in the coin heaven after wings.
Oh, true. I never done that before. I always just because it lets you avoid the water in VD2. So.
True. Still don't know how this works.
What, the sliding?
Yeah, you can just slide up the slope.
Yeah, there's unfortunately less room for like messing around in this level because you don't. Firstly, you don't have K, but also you need to keep Yoshi with you, so it's harder to like grab Buzzies and mess around with them.
Yeah, it's basically just a matter of making your way through the level and then trying to get to the right, like jumping at the right time to get into the pipe as soon as you can. Then you can just fly up to the key with that blue shell. Makes it a lot easier than hitting the vine, and you can't take Yoshi on a vine, so it's kind of a mess. Otherwise.
And then we just do the same auto-scroller again, so if there's anything you want to say, Jesse?
Yes, thank you. We've got a few donations in. We got the first one from Stylenide, who gave $1.69. Nice.
Thanks, nice.
Donating $1 to change the seed. Shout out to Nivea, the best soap brand in the world. So Stylenide's donation does not reflect the views of Oz Speedruns. Then we have Anonymous, who gave $2 and said, actually, seed is terrible, changing it again. And then we had Kuiper, who gave $21.62 that said, his name Jeff, pretty please. And that, I believe that was a donation towards getting the Link to the Past file name to be Jeff. And that brings it up to $33.69. Nice. And that's lagging quite a bit behind. It's around $70 behind the leading name, which is T301. And back to you.
Thanks. What's the deal with T301?
I don't know. Is that Elon Musk's kid or?
Oh my god.
No, that's Carl. What is it? It's like that's like XA12 or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
I do not remember.
So yeah, this is the level where you can't get both exits. So
yeah, normally
you can kind of fly up and to the left at the start there and fly over the ceiling, and that's where the secret exit is. But
yeah, technically speaking, you can also fly under the level, but that's A, scary, and B, also not possible without a cape. An interesting thing about that second room is that ideally you want to get P-speed, or keep P-speed in order to have the screen scroll up. But that didn't happen for Dact when he was bouncing on those boos, so he had to regain speed and then jump in order to actually have the screen scroll up so that he could see the door.
Optimally, you just get the door, like, blind, but...
That's hard.
Yeah.
So
I mean, optimally you get P-speed, but I didn't, so... Sorry, go ahead, Jesse.
I was going to say a quick Google search returns that these are T301 refers to KEF T301 satellite slimline speakers. However, according to the chat, it actually refers to Vic Viper T301, the name of the ship in, I believe it's Gradius.
Oh, I see, okay.
I much prefer the speaker reference, but yeah.
Yeah. If there's any donations for my choice, you can put them towards Jeff.
So this stage is mostly a flyover, but I believe we'll be seeing Dax grab a fire flower in order to kill
I will try.
Morton a little bit faster than you would otherwise.
Yeah, getting roulette blocks is always scary because if you mess up the timing, you end up getting a cape by accident. But thankfully, that flower is easy.
Mm. And here, after another almost half hour, we have our second castle of the run.
Yeah, true.
This category is one of the longest between getting out of World 1 and actually beating World 2.
This climb is pretty tricky to do optimally.
Hmm. Yeah, so what we'll be seeing Dak do is, as he gets up here, he'll grab the spring and then bounce up on the dry bones in order to get up higher. And taking the spring allows you to get to, at the top of the level, get to the door a little bit faster, a few seconds faster.
Took that a bit safe. And yeah, fire is important for the couple bosses because they die quickly if you hit them with fireballs. Like 2 fireballs and 1 stomp and just dies straight away.
Yeah, normally they die to 3 stomps or I think 10 fireballs or something. It's either 10 or 12 fireballs. Or 2 fireballs and 1 stomp, which is the fastest way to do it. So up next, we're going to take a little bit of a detour as we enter Vanilla Dome, getting Vanilla Dome 1 secret and VS1, Vanilla Secret 1 secret.
Yeah, we basically just want to unlock that star warp on the left. It will allow us to kind of take a shortcut when we, later on in the route. Not that much later, but I'll point it out.
Yeah. So these next couple of exits, this exit in particular, Vanilla Secret 1, having Special beaten makes this first Cooper at the start a blue Cooper, which means you can just lick him up and fly straight to the secret exit. Which is a lot easier than doing that exit any other way, and it allows you to keep Yoshi through it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, instead of doing the other exit, we're just going to go back down, do the right-hand path, and then kind of... Yeah, this is more wings. I'll concentrate on this.
Yeah, this is a difficult set of wings without a cape. It's the sort of easy first one that everyone learns normally, but when you're doing it no cape, it's kind of spooky. Normally, if you had a cape, we'd be using that in order to spin turn blocks to stop the ones we need to duplicate from spinning, but it's just not possible to do that without a cape. And unfortunately, Dak's getting pretty unlucky with this second dupe. It is a luck-based dupe.
Oh my god.
He's getting really unlucky.
Yeah, let's...
I'm scared of shell momentum now.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, the dupe will generally not work properly if you go for it
Oh,
with shell.
no! Oh, you cannot be serious. Okay.
That's very unfortunate.
Let's do this instead.
So we'll be seeing Dak go for a classic strat that we don't see too often these days, which we call Slurpee. He's basically going to fly through the level. Like the first room and the third room of this level are actually the same room, with a thing in the middle. There's a wall there.
Yeah.
Flying off the bottom of this is scaring me. Okay. Yeah, and one thing we saw there was there's actually a bit of cool tech where you can, like, so Yoshi, if he has a shell in his mouth for too long, will just eat it. But if you spit it out and lick it up again, that timer is reset. So what you can do is if you're flying with a shell, if you spit it out at the right point in your flight, you can just lick it up again as you're flying.
I'm kind of glad I got to show that off. I feel like lots of people don't know that strat nowadays.
Yeah, that's a classic strat. It was not used in runs that often. So I got worried there because you got hit, but then I remembered, no, that's part of a route. Part of the route.
Yeah.
It's actually faster to be small through Vanilla Dome too.
Yeah, no, I learned that strat from watching the 96 run at ADDQ 2013, so it's definitely not been used in runs for a long time.
Yeah, it was a 96 strat back in, like, before we discovered wings, but after we discovered the Yoshi clip.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it allowed you to... you needed Yoshi there to get through, and it wound up being faster. Nice fast red switcher.
Thanks. I feel like the no-cape version is easier.
Yeah, so ideally he wanted to get Yoshi wings there, and then he would ditch Yoshi at the start of Vanilla Dome 2.
Yeah, we're actually fine now. It's just lost time in the level. Quite a lot of time, but...
But yeah, because having Yoshi here means we wouldn't be able to swim with items. And, like, as you can see, swimming with this Buzzy Beetle is a lot faster than without. And it's actually faster without cape to go over the top here. This is part of the reason you want to be small, so you can get through these one-tile gaps without losing a lot of time.
That's another really fun bit of platforming.
Yeah, it's a little spooky trying to get between those swoopers. But it is
yeah,
pretty
you can't
cool.
do full jumps there. If you do full jumps, you just get hit.
And up next is one of our...
Oh yeah, I think I have good rings here. Let's try
Yeah, so this is a level where the
Yeah.
boo rings from previous stages come into effect. Thankfully, that was actually in a really good position to get through. Sometimes you're stuck jumping through gaps, and you have to jump before you actually know where the gaps are, which is pretty damn spooky. But that's, yeah, very nice first room there.
Yeah, if I'd messed up the ghost house... Well, I mean, I did mess up the ghost house earlier, but if I'd messed it up in a different way, I wouldn't have known where the cycles were. And yeah, I would have had to take that a lot slower.
Yeah. I did exactly the same thing with that piece
Yeah.
yesterday, just throwing it a bit too far.
Yeah, I guess too far is better than not far enough. Lock
Yeah,
yourself
if
out.
you hit the P-switch early, you can lock yourself out of the door, and you just have to go, like, walk back, enter another door, and you end up back in the first room, and it takes forever to get back there.
Alright, so I'm going to try and go for a shell jump in this level.
Yeah, thankfully this is just a it's like an off the wall shell jump, which is the easier kind of shell jump.
This is the only shell jump I go for in any category.
Yeah, this one it's not difficult, but I'd say it's pretty easy to mess up.
Oh wow! I didn't even keep the shell. That's annoying.
Yeah.
Didn't get to attempt it.
So there's up the top of that section. There's a bonus game pipe, and you can enter that and just leave through the same pipe you entered, and it'll take you a little bit further into the level. And it'd bring you out of that green pipe there. And now we can get that midway intentionally because there's not really any reason to be small anymore. And Mario you do need Big Mario for the start of Castle 3.
Yeah, you can easily get the midway in VD4, but it's just the strat I used to get the like activate the Yoshi there. Just you hit the midway anyway.
Yeah. That's quite convenient. That strat you use to get Yoshi, it leaves the blue shell in the perfect place to be for Yoshi to grab him. Yeah, so Vanilla Dome Fall. Not too much to say about this level.
Yeah, it's just a flyover.
It's a flyover.
The castle
it's like we're watching 96 all over again.
Yeah.
The castle's an interesting one. There's a cool cycle skip in the third room.
Oh, we're going for 2 cycle skips, actually.
Oh.
Skip the very last bit as well.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Gotta remember to hold left there when you go in, so that the magic Koopa spawns behind you.
Ooh, that's unfortunate, but
yeah, not a big deal.
Okay.
Oh, that's a big deal.
Oh,
oh my god, that's epic. Yeah. What do I even do? Do I have a mushroom?
There is a safety mushroom in the.
I'll just magic
in the question mark block here, but yeah, I think in this situation you sort of just have to wait for Magic Koopa to let you through. And he's not always nice about it. Yeah, so basically, Magic Koopa sucks and is RNG, and I hate him.
Indeed.
Yeah, so this room is very heavily cycle-based, and they're not nicely lined up cycles for you to go fast. But there are a couple of cycle skips you can get. This first one that Dak's going to be going for is trivial with cape, but a little on the tricky side without. So basically he just wants to have P-speed as he runs off there in order to make that jump. Which is definitely not easy to do, but that saves a whole cycle here, which is about 13 seconds, I believe?
I don't even know. That was a backup.
That was good.
Yeah, I got caught on the wall, but thankfully my speed kind of maintained.
And Lemmy is RNG and kind of annoying if he chooses to spawn near where the fireball is.
Yeah. I hate doing this fight small, because I get hit way too often. You shouldn't, but I do.
So up next is Cheesebridge area, which is one of the tougher levels of this run.
The scariest level in the game.
It's so scary. I will be donating $20 for every time Dak gets this first try. So
nice. Yeah, I have to do the level twice. So
if you die here, you're basically stealing money from charity.
Crap. Extra pressure. I could just ride the platforms and get free money for charity.
I'm not gonna do that. You have to at least try.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so this stage there's a bunch of moving platforms. You're supposed to ride all these platforms. And there's these saw blades. And thankfully, if you've got Yoshi, you can bounce on these saw blades without any risk of getting hit. But you do have a bit of a risk of falling off and dying. So you have to be pretty careful about it. Like one small mistake and you can die easily. But that was
awesome.
textbook.
Yeah.
Even got the early P speed back. So that's
20
bucks. And there is a secret exit to that stage.
Yeah, thankfully the secret exit is a bit less scary, because if you fall, you can start select and exit out, and you don't have to go back for a new Yoshi, you can just start the level again. That first exit, though, is extremely scary. If you fall down there, which is very easy to do, you lose more than a minute, usually.
And you have to go back and get a new Yoshi from, I think, generally Star World 2.
Yeah, that's where all the time loss comes from. You have to go all the way back on the overworld.
It's quite a bit of a hike.
You could try... I mean, you could just, like, ride the platforms and not
then
have Yoshi.
I guess there is a Yoshi in Cookie Mountain that you could get for the second time through.
I don't even know how to do Cookie Mountain without Yoshi. I've never tried.
Yeah.
You can just, like, go do the zigzag thing, and it's easy, but I'm sure
you have to get through a section with the Monty moles.
Isn't there a shell jump you can do? You get up on the pipe.
Oh, that's true. I don't know how to do that, though.
No, me neither.
Okay, so round 2 of Cheesebridge area. Round 1 went very nicely.
This one has extra stuff at the end, but thankfully the extra stuff is not too difficult.
Yeah, like the first half is definitely the hard part of this level. Plus there's a midway point you can grab as well. So that if you do make a mistake in the second half, it's not a big deal. Oh, but Dak's not going for that midway.
Nah.
He trusts in himself. And it looks like that trust is justified. Yep.
Yeah, the second half is not difficult. And yeah, that's how we get the secret exit, in case anyone knows the game and was wondering. You go underneath and jump off Yoshi, and you can get past the first goalpost.
That's an extra 20 for Sten.
Yeah, that's $40. Good stuff.
Yeah,
Alright, this is just swimming, so if Jesse has anything you want to say, feel free.
We have no new donations at the moment, so I'll just give a quick plug to who we are and what we're doing. And so we are Oz Speedruns. This is ASM2020. It is a marathon event dedicated to raising money for charity. And our charity of choice is Beyond Blue. Beyond Blue is an excellent charity devoted to helping people with mental health issues, either by giving care to those who have it, information to those who are concerned, and otherwise reducing stigma surrounding these issues. We think they're doing a great job, and we love to support them. If you'd like to support them too, go to donate.ozspeedruns.com. I'll leave a link in the chat. And we have a few bid wars going on for file names, and I'll leave those as a link in the chat as well. That's at incentives.ozspeedruns.com. Back to you, Dact.
Thank you. Yeah, so there was nothing really happened in that level, it's just swimming. You do a little like delay at the end to make the torpedo turds go the other way. And then here is where I get that Star World 2 exit that I skipped earlier. I mentioned that.
Yeah, so this is the main reason you get this at this point is so that you can take this Blue Yoshi and keep him all the way to Forest Secret area, where that's where he's going to save the most time.
Long way with this particular Yoshi.
Yeah, this is through like across all of the top of Vanilla Dome and Butter Bridge and down the left side of Forest.
And again, just feed him a mushroom and he grows up straight away. Which is the main reason, I guess. Do you keep this fire all the way to Ludwig? I don't remember, but it's one of the reasons you get fire in Soda Lake.
Yeah, I think you do.
Yeah. So we want fire anyway, but getting it in Soda Lake lets you feed that Yoshi as well.
Yeah. No, you definitely keep this fire all the way to Ludwig. I hope.
Yeah, hopefully.
There's not really much in the way of backups for it.
Those beans are annoying. They just don't register that you're jumping on them sometimes.
Yeah, if they're like close to the top of the screen, they just won't work. So this top half, if you saw the 96 run yesterday, this top half of Vanilla Dome is incredibly boring, but it's actually got some interesting stuff to it.
Yeah, only a little bit. It's still probably the most repetitive part of the run.
It's still a little dry, especially flying over this stage.
I do a Swirpy there. That's cool, I guess.
Yeah, Swirpies are pretty neat.
There's like not really a convenient place to like re-eat the shell on the ground here. I mean, maybe there is. I just haven't looked out for one. But Swirping is easier. I guess we never really mentioned that when you're flying with Yoshi, you need to be careful about how long you're holding a shell for, because eventually Yoshi will just swallow it and fall out of the air if you're still flying. So you usually have somewhere in the level where you spit out the shell and re-eat it, or ditch it and grab a new one. Or you can do what I did in the previous level and catch it in mid-air.
Yep. After Vanilla Secret 3, it's worth noting that we're playing on the Japanese version of the game, so you can eat the dolphins.
Indeed.
And I guess that's something I haven't mentioned yet this run. So, the Japanese game version of this game is the fastest because of basically each save box is a little bit smaller in Japanese, and so they take less time to expand and contract. And for some reason, the US version just has a 3-second pause after the fanfare at the end of each Switch Palace. So all up, that saves. It's around 20 seconds, somewhere thereabouts.
That's a feather. That's that thing we're not allowed to collect.
Yes, do not get that.
But I thought you weren't allowed capes. It's just a feather.
Yeah,
well, the feather
collecting
will give you a cape.
It's like saying no fire. Oh, but it's a flower. It's not fire. Bad luck there. Sometimes that second bony beetle just doesn't spawn, and that's good because you can swim right through there.
Yeah, it's annoying when he spawns regardless of power up, but without cape you can't just spin through him to get him out of the way.
And that was the first Resnor. The strat is basically the same as with cape. The physics are a bit different because you can't float. And then everyone's favourite auto-scroller.
Yeah, if you got any donations, now's a good time.
Wow, what fortuitous timing. Sten just gave a donation of $40 that said for 2 first-try cheese bridge areas. Thank you, Sten.
I did not see that coming.
Did you time that so that it would be rendering BB1, or...?
I mean, I just donated it as soon as...
Oh, okay.
As soon as you did it. Yeah, so Butterbridge 1, you can have a little bit more fun in this category because you've got a blue Yoshi, so you can fly anywhere you want.
Farm a few lives.
Just in case.
You usually end up with quite a lot of lives. Game overing can be a bit of a concern early in the run, but later on you end up with quite a lot of lives.
Yeah, it's like I think special's probably where you'd be most worried about it. After
I've
that,
game overed on Donut Secret House before.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's early. Fine. Oh.
Nerves. Coins.
Nice. Less nice.
What?
There was double 69 in your score.
Oh, I didn't even notice. There were better times.
That's pretty nice. And it's ruined.
I never look at my score, so I don't notice these things.
Yeah. Pretty easy to ignore the score. It's not overly important.
Alright, the last flyover for a while.
Yeah, there'll be some interesting levels as we head into forest.
Oh, I guess FY4 is a flyover, so I'm lying. But...
And I suppose forest secret area
Yeah,
is if
FSA,
it goes
yeah.
well.
I'm just lying. It's all good.
Can't believe you'd do that.
That stomp is because we've got a yellow shell in our mouth. That's a feature of the yellow shells, but it's not really important for speedrunning anyway. So there's a few ways of doing this room. Some people do like screen scrolls. I just look at the timer and wait.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
Ooh,
yeah,
that's
I
unfortunate.
delayed too long. That was bad.
Yeah, so unfortunately losing fire there means he's going to have to do the slow Ludwig kill. There is still a cycle skip you can do on that. Normally you'd have to like hit him and then he'd do his roll around, spin all over the place thing, and then you'd hit him again and he'd do that again. But if you hit him while he's in the air, coming down after his first rolly around, spin all over the place thing, you can actually skip the second of those.
Yeah, so this is why fire is so important in this fight. But can do that. And it also means I won't be fire killing Roy, so losing that fire flower is actually a pretty big time loss.
Yeah, thankfully it doesn't lose nearly as much time on Roy. I guess it would technically be possible to get 2 flowers back in this segment, but it's not really a good way to go about doing that, so...
Yeah, it's not worth it.
I feel like I should point out that we are only $188 away from hitting 11k.
Man.
Which is pretty crazy.
We're so close. Thanks to everyone for their generosity so far. It's been fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Forest of Illusion after special is very nice in that we've got a Yoshi and there's a blue shell right at the start. And just use that to fly through most of it. And if you saw the 96 run yesterday, you'll notice that Dak's taking a bit of a different route. That's basically because you need this blue Yoshi in order to do Forest Secret Area as fast as possible. So we can't just go and ditch him on the clips.
Yeah. Forest Secret Area is... Oh, nice. Is one of the kind of defining parts of the route for this category. There's no blue shells, so you need to bring a blue Yoshi in, and if you don't have a way to fly, you just lose so much time. It's so slow.
So being a no-cape category, we have to go through this room of Forest Ghost House, which... it's not a good place. There's boos all over the place. They are spooky. The boo cloud it does its own thing. It's like, hey, you're going here? I'm gonna destroy you. Thankfully, Dak didn't have any issues getting through it, though.
Yeah, especially being small is scary, because the boos can just spawn on top of you and kill you. Well, not so much spawn on top of you, but like spawn and you don't realise they're solid, because most of them aren't.
Yeah.
And we can get big back easily in this level.
Yeah, there's
Not with that mushroom.
There's a conveniently placed midway point right before the pipe for the secret exit.
It's tempting to get that mushroom, but if you get that, you have to watch the power-up animation, whereas you can just get this midway instead.
Nice pipe.
Thank you.
So, Forest Secret Area coming up. This is what the Blue Yoshi has been saved for. It's not the easiest thing to do, though.
God, if I miss this jump. Okay.
Nicely done. Sorry,
I've never missed that before, but if I did, I would cry. I would cry. So
I certainly have.
Yeah, it's a really short level, but the main way to get through is by riding these really slow platforms that do like figure 8 patterns and like Just they're so annoying. But now we don't need to worry about the Yoshi so much. Like, we still need it for clips and stuff, but you can just get a green one and it's no big deal.
Yeah. Although it's unlikely that you'll lose this Yoshi before clips because
Yeah, true. You can't bring him in here. You need to like game over, I guess.
Yeah. Or like really mess up Forest of Illusion 4 normal exit.
Yeah, true.
So this is another auto-scroller if there's anything to plug.
It's an auto-scroller followed by a really hard room.
Yeah, the next room is really cool. But this one sucks.
No, we have no donations at the moment. If you'd like to donate, go to donate.ozspeedruns.com. I'll leave a link in the chat. We are raising funds for Beyond Blue, a charity devoted to reducing the impact and the stigma surrounding depression and anxiety in Australia and other mental health issues. Thank you.
Come on, let's get 11k
Got
before
it.
the end of this run.
Oh, I thought you were saying, come on, get the pink triangle jump, which I did.
Oh yeah, that too. That's like a surprisingly tight jump. Ooh, that's just an
That's
unfortunate
so-
fireball from Reznor.
That's so crap.
And one of the things that really sucks about Reznor, if you're small, is that when you jump into the bottom of those platforms, you can sort of get clipped weirdly by them and they teleport you around a bit. Thankfully, this did not happen to Dact, but
Yeah.
like, if you're
doing
really
Reznor
unlucky, you'll
small is
just
so
jump
scary.
and then it'll like teleport you to the edge and you'll get dumped into the lava.
Certainly not ideal. And you have to play the auto-scroller again if that happens.
Yeah, there's no midway in Forest Fort. Yeah, so this stage, just a flyover, that got his mushroom back, and then we move into Forest of Illusion 2, which is our first instance of Yoshi clips in the run.
Yeah. And we'll be doing it twice, and just bless RNG, I guess.
Yeah, so basically he's gonna get into into a corner while riding Yoshi, and then dismount to try to get Yoshi to sort of push Yoshi and Mario through the corner and get out of bounds. But there's a 1 in 4 chance he's just gonna get kicked out. Well,
And,
unfortunately, he has
1
dropped
in-
Yoshi.
And a
which is-
many chance that I'll just be bad and mess it up. Wow.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
two.
at this point as well, it's that 1 in 4 chance is gone, and it's really just whatever the game feels like now.
Okay.
Thankfully,
So
you
the
got
first time
through.
I do it correctly, I get it, but I messed
Yeah.
up twice.
Thankfully, the game had mercy.
Yeah. And then, as usual, swimming with items is a lot faster, so we grab stuff through the floor.
Yeah, but another part of this route that's different to what I was doing yesterday is that Dac's going and getting the normal exit here first. And he'll loop back around and then grab another Yoshi from Forest of Illusion 1 for the secret. And blue switch.
I guess I'll go for the wall jump here.
Yeah, so the way this level's lined up, it just sets you up very nicely for a wall jump. Wall jumps are still 1 frame, and you have to hit the wall at exactly the right pixel, so
Yeah, that's definitely the
It's-
easiest wall jump in the game, but it's still not guaranteed.
it's not free by any means.
Okay.
Ooh,
That was
okay.
scary.
Yeah, so if those
Pretty good.
bubbles are in the wrong place, which just depends on how you've played the level, they can just like kill all your speed and have you fall in the pit or something like that. Like, I've definitely died a fair few times on this stage going for that. So here we'll be seeing the second exit of Forest of Illusion, Forest Ghost House.
Try and actually do the boot jump this time. Okay.
Nice. So this one's pretty much the same as the previous one, except you run further to find the other door. Once you're back in the first room on top of the level. I guess one thing I haven't mentioned yet this run is the doors are impossible.
I was waiting for you to say something.
Yeah, so doors in this game, if you're running at full speed, are a three-frame trick at 60 frames per second. I know how to speak. So they're not exactly the easiest thing. For context, like Ocarina of Time runs at 20 FPS, so like a frame perfect trick in Ocarina of Time is the same window as a door in this game.
I love that piece of trivia.
It's just my favorite comparison. We don't pause buffer outdoors either.
Imagine pause buffering a door. It wouldn't even help because there's such a long delay when you unpause.
Yep.
Alright, so now we get to do clips again.
Yep, hopefully it goes a little better than last time.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yes.
Dactyly getting kicked out there is just entirely bad luck. That's the game. Taking its 1 in
That's
4
not the
chance
game.
at kicking him out and going, I don't like you.
God, I'm doing this way too often, just letting Yoshi fall down. My timing is a bit late on the dismount. Okay.
Okay,
Third
got
try
through
both
eventually.
times.
Yeah, so this clip can definitely be a bit of a run killer at times.
You can clip on the left side as well. It's harder though, and it's the same as doing the clip in VD2, but my visual cue for that involves the cape like billowing out, like the actual cape animation, and so I would have no visual cue for trying to do it with that cape. Right, I have one more chance to redeem myself.
Come on. Gotta get at least one.
Yeah, there we go.
Nice jump.
That's
I think
one
that makes
frame.
two. I think that makes 2 jumps between us
Oh,
for this marathon. So honestly, we've both let everyone down.
Yeah, you get 1 frame to jump off those switches. It doesn't do anything. It's just cool.
It neither saves nor loses time. It is just swag.
I got the pixel that time for the wall jump, but I missed the frame. Oh, and that's not so good. Okay, let's do this.
Oh, you can make that.
Yeah.
I haven't really been in that situation before. And now the bubbles are going to be all sorts of weird.
Yeah, I've still got...
Oh, you actually had a wall clip there as well.
Yeah,
You
that
could've
was
saved it with
cool.
a wall jump.
Full of Xander.
Oh well, that's actually good thinking. Start selecting. Plus, you had the midway point, so that really doesn't lose a lot of time.
Yeah.
Especially compared to what it could have lost.
Oh, that bubble, that's unfair.
Yeah, that bubble was just exactly where you didn't want it to be.
Alright, can't fly through this, unfortunately. Have to ride the snake. But we can skip the second block snake, which is good.
It's still the same. It's actually still the same block snake. It's just a very long block snake.
Yeah, we can skip the second part with a neat damage boost.
Yeah, there's sort of two sections to the start of this level, one of which is over lava and the other of which is over Doritos. But you can run on Doritos if you have iframes.
That's also why you need 2 fire flowers to be able to fire Kilroy, because you have to take damage there.
Yeah,
so you kind of need to take damage and then immediately grab your inventory fire flower.
It's definitely not worth taking, just taking fire to Roy when it'd lose more than the 4 seconds to keep it. So 95 exit with cape isn't really a category that anyone would run because there are 96 exits total. Just you can't get one of those without cape. But
I guess I don't even remember what Louis' new 95 record is.
I can tell you that the record for 96 exit is a 121.52, and what 95 is it? I think it's a 127. Or no, I think it's an extremely high 126. By
so it's
frame.
about a 5-minute difference, I guess. The 96 record is probably a bit more optimized than the 95 record, although
that's true.
Less of a thing now. Louis brought it down a bit, but
I know Louis definitely had a fair few mistakes in that run.
Yeah, I haven't watched it
there's
yet.
time to be saved. But yeah, I think about a 5-minute difference is reasonable. Little bit less, if the 95 record was better optimized. Oh, it really depends whether you consider 5 minutes to be a gigantic difference or not.
It makes a huge difference to just how you play the game.
Oh, absolutely.
The total time is not that far off. Gonna try and get this door. Nice.
We've taken to calling that the Choco Door Challenge. Getting through there before the
I've never heard that before. I guess the traditional name is not.
The traditional name is not appropriate.
Yeah. That's way easier no cape, because with cape you have to land right on it and get it straight away, but no cape you can just kind of go for it and press jump immediately afterwards, and if you don't get the door you'll just jump over the gap. Oh, that was weird.
The cape only exit's not a huge amount, doesn't take a huge amount of time, probably 30 seconds maybe.
Oh, wow, okay, that's new.
So slopes, I'm sure you weren't trying to run on the slope, but slopes are a bit weird in that if you're running down one, you might just not jump sometimes, even pressing the button.
You know what else is new? This donation from Henry T, who gave $5.97, said, "Never dog the boys." Thank you.
That's good life advice.
Yeah, I can word that. Yeah, there's 2 exits in that level, and which exit you get is dependent on how long you take to do the level, for the most part. And so, doing it just as quick as possible gets you the secret exit. But yeah, so let's do some weird stuff in the normal exit. Okay, that was good. I like to be big going in there, so I can take damage if I need to, but I was not big, so I had to do a slightly slower strat.
Yeah, those the footballs of those chucks kick are random and very annoying. But by throwing the shell like he did, he can just get through safely even without the power up. And then this next room's a bit of basic platforming. There's a few sloped platforms towards the end that can be a bit spooky to jump on. Because they will sometimes just eat your jump.
Yeah, I jump specifically on this one so that and then just like hold jump, so that if it does kill my P-speed and I don't get to jump, I'll still land on the next platform. It probably loses frames because you like kind of walk off a ledge when you actually reach the other side, but
it's true, but it's probably worth the risk.
Yeah.
You know, a few frames over dying at the end of Chocolate Secret is well worth it.
So we get those coins there to get a specific second room. And we also collect the dragon coins to affect which last room we get. But here we actually just have to wait because we need to waste time to get the normal exit.
Yeah, if Dact enters this pipe at 250 on the game timer or higher, he'll go back to the secret exit room, which he's already done. And if he were to grab more coins, like 21 or more coins in the first room, it would have taken him to a room with a cape that you need the cape to complete.
Yeah, that would be really bad.
Yeah, that would not be what you want to do in this category.
You would have to just start slow. I guess it's worth pointing out, the rules are if you do collect a cape, you just have to Death Abuse to get rid of it, and play the whole level again. There's not really any places where you would realistically accidentally get a cape, but...
Yeah, roulette
anything
box,
can happen.
maybe.
Yeah, anything's possible.
Yeah, so CI3, not too bad a level in 95. Really, the most difficult part is just grabbing the shell at the beginning. That's not too bad.
You get the best overworld path in the game.
Yeah, this is my favourite overworld path. It's incredibly useful.
It's a donut.
So one thing worth noting, Dact actually got 14 bonus stars as he crossed that goal. We generally try to avoid bonus stars because if you get 100 of them at the end of the stage, you'll get a bonus game, and the bonus game is just a huge waste of time. So obviously not the most useful for a speedrun.
Yeah, it's not a big deal to get some like every now and then by accident.
Yeah,
but
as long as you don't get to 100
time,
at any point in the run, you're fine.
Yeah.
Although you have got 29 in the last two
but where else am I
levels.
going to get them? Like, Vob 4, maybe? But...
Vob 4, Vob 5, Vob 1.
Vob 5? What's Vob 5?
Wait, that's not a level that exists. I was thinking CI4 and CI5. I know this game. I play this game.
Oh, got grabbed by the pencil.
Yeah, so the pencils kind of just suck you in if you hit the tip of them.
Oh, I got
Thankfully,
grabbed by both sides of that one.
Yeah, it's thankfully their actual damaging hitbox is relatively small.
This is one of the few levels that I'd say is way easier and okay. The cape strat for this run is for this level is one of the harder ones in 96. No, CI2 is the only level where they do anything like that, where they give you like different exits depending on how you play the level, and they're not just in different places.
It's a completely unique level. Didn't do anything like that anywhere else in the game for some reason. So this stage is a kind of cool one, just sort of trying to keep speed as much as possible, sliding down slopes.
Yeah, you
And
spend a
neutral
lot of
jumping to
you spend a
preserve
lot
that
of that level not holding right, because you press down to like slide down the slope, and then you jump without holding right to maintain the slope speed. And you can sometimes make that faster than just running normally. I'll do a cool thing here to get past one of these sharks.
This is a pretty neat strat. You get through here without waiting for that green pipe to rise.
Yeah, you kind of if you dismount Yoshi in midair, Yoshi gets thrown forward really far, while Mario goes up, and so you can kind of do that and throw Yoshi onto a ledge that you wouldn't normally reach, and then just kind of remount him. I think that's the only place that I intend to do that in this run, but there's a couple of places where it's useful for backup strats.
Yeah, it's also used in No Cape, No Star World for some strats.
Yeah, I mean, the place you use it in No Cape, No Star is where I would sometimes use it here as a backup.
Oh,
okay.
nice undersaw.
I got undersaw and then got caught on the ledge, so it didn't matter. Oh my god. That was...
Okay, everything's fine.
Yeah, let's just go past that.
Yeah, you had me worried.
I had myself worried. Like, what am I doing? Oh, wow, okay.
That could have gone worse.
Can I make this? Yes.
Yes.
I can't make that, though. Let's do this. Alright, we're good. That was questionable, Wendy.
I was a little concerned. But you got through. Now this is our 7th castle beaten. And by 7th, I of course mean 6th, because I can count. So Dactyly moving on to Sunken Ghost Ship and then the Valley of Bowser, which is our last world.
Yeah, getting close to the end. Relatively speaking, still like 15 minutes left.
Do you think Mario either just painted over that castle to match the background, or he just really obliterated it with his magical brush?
I like the paint idea. Just hide it in the background.
It's a good question. This is being run on an original SNES, or I guess Super Famicom.
Yeah.
Japanese SNES. So Dact got hit off Yoshi there intentionally a couple of times in order to line up this boo cloud correctly so that it'll still be on screen when one of the boo rings up ahead is supposed to spawn, which prevents that boo ring from spawning.
Fun fact about these boo clouds, any of the boos that aren't on screen when the boo cloud spawns are not solid, so you can just go straight through them. Oh, that was annoying. Okay, we're good.
Yep, so Sunken Ghost Ship, or the last room of Sunken Ghost Ship, just a vertical falling room. Generally try to kill a few enemies to reduce lag, but not too much else to it.
Yep.
Whoa, what was that thing you just picked up there?
That was an orb.
Do you want me to get this? Should I crank the gain all the way?
Oh my god. I mean, feel free if you want. I'm not gonna do it. What the? Holy crap.
Dear Lord.
That's not what I was expecting. You need to go back and watch the VOD and hear how you sounded there.
Oh, I know how I sounded.
Oh,
I
you
can
did?
hear
Okay.
it through my I can hear it through my headphones.
Okay. Oh my god.
Yeah,
That
so
was
Valley
the
of Bowser
orb from
1.
hell.
Valley of Bowser 1's a kind of neat level, just platforming and eating moles.
Yeah, I messed it up a bit, like, kinda had to backtrack on myself a couple times, but... As long as you remember where the moles are, that level's not very dangerous.
Yeah. If you do... Yeah, you have to be careful with your timing of Yoshi's tongue on the moles, though, because if you tongue either too... I guess if you tongue too late, you'll just end up running into the side of the mole while on Yoshi, which
Yeah.
for some reason can damage Mario.
Yeah, the moles are so big that they still hit you while you're eating them, and yeah, it's just silly.
So if we had a cape here, we'd just fly up to the gap where the secret exit is, but that's not really an option. So Dact can take this block snake, which will move to whichever direction he's facing, and then
Oh
use
my
that
God.
to get up.
Okay.
If he... Okay, it didn't take too long. The worst thing you can do there is if you mistime your button presses, you can end up just slotting the block snake into the hole.
Oh my god,
So you can't
I've never
get in
seen
there
that
at all.
before. That would be horrific.
It is funny when it happens to someone else.
Yeah.
And here's a fun fact about these doors. So Dact enters the third door to get to the normal exit here. You can also enter the fourth door to get to the normal exit. Just both doors take you to the same place for some reason.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know that. I've never gone into the fourth door before.
That is perfectly reasonable. This is Valley of Bowser 3, a level that causes me much trouble in runs, for some reason. Not specifically in 95, even in caped runs, I just mess it up way too often. So, thankfully it's a simple just fly through with the green shell, nothing's too complicated.
Yeah. I'm not gonna try and do anything fancy with the platforms. And then Bob 4 is basically identical twice, but thankfully it's fun, so it's okay.
It's a pretty cool level.
This level's good, like any permutation of like power-ups and Yoshi and whatever.
Yeah.
It's always good.
So as he falls down that shaft, it would technically be faster to spit out the shell and just try to land, except if you fall full speed, sometimes you just won't be able to actually get across to the platform and you'll just fall straight into the lava.
Yeah, keeping the shell there is 100% safety, but it's a bit slow.
It's so scary to not.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes things work out fine, and sometimes you die and lose Yoshi and your power up, which is obviously not ideal.
Oh, I lost speed. I did that completely wrong. This is fine, I guess. Gonna have to ditch Yoshi a bit early. Let's do this and this.
Yeah, thankfully only need Yoshi for the secret exit there, so
Yeah.
just ditch him and get to the normal.
Yeah, there
Come
isn't
on.
really a good, like, second shell to pick up there.
Sorry there. I was saying, come on, guys, we're almost at 11,000. We're just $182 away. We're so close. Can we get it before the end of this run? I think we can. Let's go.
Agreed. So this castle is annoying. Like, it's just awkward. Like, there's not really a good way to go fast here.
Yeah, definitely will be saving a bit of time against the sort of intended route through the level. But it's still definitely not convenient. Ooh, bold move, not going for the midway.
No.
If you drop down a bit further, there's a midway.
Oh.
But in theory, it shouldn't be needed.
Get through. Oh no, I shouldn't have killed it now. I'm gonna have to wait. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
so unfortunately, you need Magic Cooper to get through these, unless you've managed to keep one of the shells from him. So you just have to kind of wait now.
Oh no, I stood over there, so he didn't shoot in the right. Oh, nice thwimp.
Oh, so the thwimp is incredibly unlikely and also very difficult to get past.
Get.
Oh.
Oh my god, what am I doing?
Everything that happened there was very unfortunate.
Incredible odds. Incredible.
Like, I think the thwimp is like is it a 3 in 256 chance of spawning? It's somewhere thereabouts anyway.
I mean, it's my fault for killing Magikarp, but like, if that hadn't happened, then we would have been in a better position.
And unfortunately, this means that not getting the midway has proven a bit slow.
I will get it this time though, because I need to get big again, and I don't have a mushroom.
It's actually quite a nice midway in that you get 2 backup power-ups.
Oh, you want to get through those one tile things, and it's actually really hard.
Yeah, it's definitely not easy to do. Yeah, Magikarp's back. He's going for that lower block again. And the mushroom's gone. Oh, this is unfortunate. Oh,
I am so mad. Oh my god.
that's just a very rude Koopa.
That is insane.
That's just more time for donations. Get them
Yeah,
in.
go.
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, no, I was just plugging it. Come on, everyone. You've still got time.
Yeah, Dak just really wants us to get up to 11k before the end of the run.
Just drag it out.
There we go. Yeah, Larry's castle is just an awkward, annoying stage.
This level is not designed for speed.
Maybe with a cape you can manage speed all right, but...
Okay, we did it.
So earlier in the run I said that I hate Magic Koopa, and I think now you can maybe see why.
Alright, only a couple levels left. We are pretty close to the end. Do I go for sandbar?
Ooh.
It would be a swag thing to do. You didn't get it, so...
I tried for it.
Yeah.
If you get it, I'll donate $20.
Okay, yeah, I might as well then. We're ahead of schedule, so it doesn't matter if I, waste extra time.
Plus, you are on pace to finish well under estimate at this point.
Yeah.
Only donating if you get it first try.
Nope.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, so you can clip through that yellow sandbar and skip a cycle. I'm not going to go for it a second time. I could, but I'm not going to.
Unless...
Nah, it's all good.
Yeah, so this sandbar section is just kind of slow. Not much you can do to get through it faster, except that one clip.
Yeah. I mean, there's
But
more clips you could do, but that's the most realistic one.
the other ones are harder and scarier.
Yeah, go for the one in the last room. Where you just always die if you fail it.
Hmm.
Can't believe people do that in like Get No Star now.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I think there is a decent-ish setup for it, but
Yeah, there is. I've practiced it,
Yeah.
but it's still ridiculous.
yeah. So Dact actually went for a lock jump to try to get on top of that ceiling sooner. The way Mario's speed works, there's a 3 in 5 chance he'll make that jump.
This is one of my favorite levels. Really fun. Kind of run back and forth to maintain speed while you're waiting for the crushes.
Yeah, Valley Fortress is pretty cool.
And then hopefully skip a cycle here. Yeah.
Not ideal fireballs from Resnor, but nothing too bad.
Yeah. Alright, so that's 95 exits. We have them all now. I just have to go beat Bowser and we'll be done.
Can you believe it? Anonymous just gave a $108.04 donation.
Whoa!
That's incredible. Thank you so much, Anonymous. It's very generous. That makes it so that we only have $74 to go to meet the 11K before the end of this run. Can we do it? I think we can. Let's go.
Pretty close. I only got 2 minutes to run left, though. Not even that. So you better be quick. Or Dact, you better mess up.
Yeah, I'm not going to die in Bowser. I don't care.
Oh no, I don't expect you to die in Bowser. That would be very unfortunate.
Trying for speed here, guys. Speed.
Real Reservoir Steam moments.
So Dact's saving a Mecha Koopa here in order so they can take it into phase 2 and skip one of Bowser's bowling balls. So Bowser will normally throw 2 bowling balls before he throws the set of Mecha Koopas in phase 2, but if you hit him right as he's about to throw the second ball, it just skips him throwing it entirely. So that's what we'll be seeing right here. There's Bowser's first bowling ball, and Dact's going to time this so that he hits Bowser right as he stops. And instead of throwing a bowling ball next, Bowser is going to throw more Mecha Koopas. And by saving one of these into phase 3, he's able to hit Bowser immediately at the start of that phase, which will cause him to bounce around 5 times instead of 8, which is just a bit faster. So there's the first hit of Bowser. And just has to wait for 5 bounces, and then Bowser
This last
will
hit
throw
is the
Mecha
hard
Koopas.
one. This is tough to do fast. Nice. Okay, I'll take that.
Very nice. Time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, true. I didn't say. I stopped
I
my
kinda-
timer, but I didn't say that time was done.
I also forgot to mention that. That's,
Yeah.
My bad.
Fantastic run.
Thank you. That was actually really solid up until Valley Bowser, essentially. Like, I was a minute 40 behind my PB going into Bob. And it was really all the castle that lost all that time. And the death in Sandbar.
Hmm.
Yes, thank you everyone for watching. I guess I'll say the same that Sen did. If you're interested in running this game or just finding more runners, speedrun.com/smw, smwspeedruns.com .com or .org. I don't actually remember. For the
smwspeedruns.com.
.com, yeah, for the wiki. It's a really easy game to pick up. There's obviously high skill ceiling, as with most speedruns, but it's very beginner friendly. And there's lots of good documentation, so... And a million categories.
So many categories.
Oh, the timer didn't stop, apparently. Someone said in chat.
Yeah, it has stopped now, but
okay.
It took a while.
I didn't have the stream open, so... Thank you, everyone. What's next? Zelda, right? Or
yeah.
I believe we're going to have a filler game.
A Link to the Past.
Hey.
Potentially a filler game beforehand. How much time do we have until A Link to the Past is scheduled? I should have that.
There is 15 minutes, so I believe the filler game will be very short.
Yes.
But before we do that, just waiting on the page to refresh. And that's from me.
Oh.
Sorry, yeah, I let go of the button. Yeah, so I got permission to share this story with everyone. I've been hosting for ASM 2020 for Beyond Blue, and the thing is, Beyond Blue is very close to my heart. And the reason is that I myself have struggled with depression and anxiety, and I think that it's a noble cause. And you could probably hear my voice shaking a little because this is so impactful to me and so important to me. But last year, two of my friends, Nick and Mitch, committed suicide. And I think about them all the time. I miss them so much. And if you're struggling, reach out. People care. People care far more than you think. If you leave this earth without properly connecting to the ones around you, you leave a hole in their heart forever. So I implore you all to check out Beyond Blue, seek help. I love you all, and I miss you, Mitch and Nick. I'm putting my donation towards Mikami and Tripp's OOT names being Mitch and Nick, respectively. Thank you for having me, ASM. This is the end of my hosting block. I've been Crazy Jesse. I love you all, and I hope you have a nice life. Goodbye.
Thank you so much, Jesse.
Yes, thank you.
All right, we'll see